Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It is currently 3:58 a.m. on this beautiful 70-degree, balmy July evening, Saturday evening going into Sunday. And I just woke up like 20 minutes ago. And the little puppies were being so sweet. They came over and they were giving me kisses and stuff. We had a nice little nap, a midnight nap. And I had a good day today. I got up. I don't even remember what I did when I got up. I got up and I went and got my coffee, and I did know that was later. I got up and did some stuff around the house, made the bed, and was doing laundry and all that kind of stuff, putting up my vlog, rendering my vlog, then uploading my vlog. And I did sleep in late today though. So then I finally left and I went and got coffee, and I did a review at Starbucks while I was there. And then I came home and I filmed a drama video. I feel like I'm forgetting something that I did earlier in the day. I was gonna go visit a friend of mine, but that didn't happen. Because she was asleep when I was gonna go visit her. Lip balm, lip gloss. I filmed a drama video, I filmed a Peterisms video, and I filmed a booktube video. I fed the dogs. Oh, I know what I did. I went to Noodles and Company, and I got 2 meals for like tomorrow and like Monday. I just wanted them, and so I didn't have to stop at Noodles and Company and stuff because I've been craving pasta a lot lately. So I got 2 meals. Their cauliflower gnocchi, if you've never had it, is so good at Noodles and Company. I would recommend the garlic one. The Rosa is good too, but I would recommend the garlic one. It's probably the better of the two, or it's my favorite of the two. So anyway, and then I went to Meijer, and I got a bunch of like treats and stuff. I kind of had this idea that I might like stay up and watch a bunch of shows and whatever on my iPad outside. But, yeah, I got so tired when I got back and I was putting my stuff away, and then I heated up some of my leftovers from Maggiano's yesterday, and I watched an episode, I think it was the third episode of Legendary Season 2 on HBO Max, and ate my dinner, ate some treats. I had gotten like Bridge Mix. Do you guys know what Bridge Mix is? I love Bridge Mix. So it's like peanuts and all different kinds of like chocolates mixed together, and raisins and caramel and stuff like that. And then I had also gotten this peanut butter stuff that I really like, and it's like I don't know who the brand is. They make that Blondie one too, and then they also have some that's like cereal, but they pour it over like this, I don't know how to explain it. It's like this mix that's like made with peanut butter. It tastes like real peanut butter, but they pour it over. It's like you find it like in the bakery or the deli section. They pour it over like pretzels and Chex Mix and stuff like that. So anyway, I got some of that. What else did I get? I got some hummus and some chips, which I did not open. It's hot in here. I turned the heat on to defrost the windshield, and now it's hot. And so yeah, and then then after I finished Legendary, I was sitting there and I was watching I almost said Sleepaway Camp. Sleepover Massacre, Number One? Is that what it's called? Anyway, I think that's what it's called. Sleepover Massacre, the first one. I've never seen it before, actually. Well, oh no, that's not true. I finished Pretty Woman. It was like the last half an hour of Pretty Woman. I sat there and bawled and bawled and bawled. I cry every time I watch that movie. I don't know why. I love that movie so much. I have loved that movie since it very first came out, and I bet you I've seen that movie hundreds of times at this point. But it's at the very end when his business partner comes over and he hits her, and then Richard Gere pulls him off of him, and then he wants her to stay, and she's like, I've changed because of you, and you can't change me back, and now I want something more for myself. I don't know, I love that movie so much. I think in a weird way, like, I know it's like this modern day fairy tale kind of deal, and, you know, it's like this kind of, I mean, she's a prostitute, and, you know, he's this rich guy in Beverly Hills, but I do believe that we have the power to change each other from our experiences and learning from one another, and I think we do challenge each other, and we want each other to be better people, and, I don't know, there's a lot of truisms in that movie, you know? I love the part when they're laying together and she says, or he says, you're so beautiful, and she says the bad stuff is easier to believe. When someone tells you something about yourself long enough, you start to believe it, because I think that's true, you know? When you have people that are putting you down for a long period of time, it's like at some point you start to believe what they tell you, and right or wrong, I think it happens, you know? And I also like the line in the movie where she says, I want the fairy tale. You know, to come to a point in your life where you, like, accept what you want in life and what you feel like you deserve is a really, like, I mean, not that we all deserve the fairy tale. That's not what I'm saying, okay? I'm not saying that we all deserve or are entitled to, you know, all this superficial stuff. But I think when you get to the point when you realize, like, my life has value, and I am rightfully deserving of this great stuff that everybody else has. I think sometimes we sit on the outside and we look in, I mean, I know I do this, and we look in at the rest of the world and what they have, you know, and I don't know, and then I love the line where she says to him right before she leaves, she said, I think you have lots of special gifts. I love that line. It was interesting because my Peterisms video today, I kind of opened up. I didn't really expect to, about this abusive relationship that I had been in the past. And I've talked about it on here before. And the reality is that it's been so long that I don't remember specifics of the relationship. I don't. I mean, I do. But, like, we were together like a year and a half before I went to treatment, that last, on and off that last year and a half. So, I mean, it's been like almost 29 years since I dated this guy. And, you know, I always, like I was saying in the video, that it wasn't like a physical abusive relationship, but I always felt scared of him. And part of it was, I felt scared of him leaving me. And, like, I, like, obsessively needed this guy. It was the weirdest thing, like, because I look back on that relationship, and he was really, like, nothing about him was anything that, like, we didn't have anything in common. We didn't, other than some friends. We didn't really philosophically look at the world in the same way at that time. We just lived two very different lives, you know? And he was really horrible to me. And he was really emotionally and verbally abusive in the way that he spoke to me. And the things that he would say to me. I don't know why the one on the escalator is the one that stands out to me, but he and his friend were behind me on an escalator one day. They were talking about, I was like really thin at that point too. It was like 150. I said 150 on the video today, but I think I was like even maybe like thinner than that, like 145. I was thin. I was like almost emaciated. Because I can remember at that same time my mom was like really worried about, she'd say like, she would joke and say, I know you want to look like those Calvin Klein models. Do you remember those really like emaciated looking Calvin Klein models? She's like, but I just wish you gained some weight. I'm so worried about you, you know. And I don't, what's weird about it too is that my whole life I've struggled with my weight. But that was like a period of my life that I don't really remember being that consumed about my weight. I just had lost a lot of weight. And he also was the person that introduced me to cocaine. Now, I don't put that on him. Like, I mean, I did what I did, right? Like, I take responsibility for being the one to put it in my body and start it and whatever. But he was the one that introduced me to it. But I also, like, when I went into treatment, I was heavy. I wasn't like... So, he made this comment to me. We were on an escalator going down, and he made some comment to me about my butt being fat. And, you know, I still hear that comment today when I'm standing in the mirror with no clothes on or whatever. You know, I'm looking at my butt sideways. I still hear that comment in my head. Now, I have done so much work in counseling with several counselors since that time, and therapists and sponsors and inventory, and I've taken a look at that, and I've taken a look at that relationship, and I've taken a look at specifically at those comments that were said to me. And that was, to be honest with you, like really the least of the harsh comments. Like that was, of all the things he said to me, like that was the least, right? But, you know, I still allow myself to buy into the lies sometimes when I hear that comment. And that's like so, I think, like that part of Pretty Woman where she says the bad stuff is easier to believe. When someone tells you something about yourself long enough, you start to believe it, you know? The truth is, looking back on that relationship, I know I was being used. Because he was from out of town, and he didn't want to get an apartment in Indianapolis, but he wanted to be here on the weekends so he could hang out and go out with his friends. So he stayed with me on the weekends. That's why we started dating. And to be really blunt, the relationship started and ended with sex. We hooked up the first night, and then we hooked up the last night. And we didn't have any kind of intimacy, physical intimacy, like almost the entirety of the relationship other than that. And I knew that every time that he was going to the gym, he was hooking up with somebody. I knew that. I knew, looking back, like, I think I played dumb around that time or whatever, but, like, I knew that he was using me for an apartment and a place to stay. You know, he would come, like, he would go to work, because he worked down in Indianapolis on, like, a Friday, and then he would come back, and, like, I would have done, like, his laundry that he brought home and stuff. I mean, like, I don't know, I just totally allowed him to use me. And I knew that everybody knew that he was cheating on me, and I just played dumb. I never once confronted him about it. I never once, the entire time we were together, confronted him about cheating on me. And I just stand in bars and stand next to him, you know, and let everybody think that, like, I don't know what I thought. I think because he was rather short, first of all. And I don't know, he would make jokes about that. So I think that had something to do with that. But he was so confident. Like, I don't know if it was false confidence. I don't know what it was. But he was one of the most confident people I have ever met in my entire life. Like, he walked into a room and he owned that room, you know? And, like, people would look at him and they thought, like, he was the life of the party. Like, he was it. And I can remember when I was with him, I felt like they looked at me a little bit that way too. You know, he's one person that has never come back to me in my life and ever apologized, taken responsibility. A couple years ago, like, I saw a picture of him with somebody else that I know. Like, it was like I was looking at somebody else's, through somebody else's. I was like 3 deep on Facebook. He doesn't even live here anymore. And there was like a picture of him with somebody else. And he looked exactly the same as he did like 20 years ago. He had like a super intense body, and he was in great shape. And I mean, he still looks great. And still dresses exactly the same. And I was like, it was so weird, the feelings that I felt, like, looking at that picture. It was like, I was, like, transported back in time. I think to some degree, like, he was kind of like, at that time for me, the gay guy that I wanted to be. Like, he was kind of butch and macho, but like, his stereotypical, like, femme side would come. He'd be like, you know, I can see him do, I don't know what this thing was he did, but he'd be like, girl. But, like, he kind of owned it. Like, he didn't, and I did not. I didn't like that side of me. And he could kind of go in and out of it. And his friends were like that, too. And, I don't know. I know that if I had to come up with 5 or 10 moments in my life that I have felt like, and I don't really remember a lot about the last night, but I do remember a couple things. If I remember 5 or 10, if I could name 5 or 10 moments in my life where I have felt like the bottom of the scum barrel, that last night with him was one of them. Which is interesting, because then I, like, fell into this alcohol and drug haze, because without him, like, I knew, like, in my heart, I couldn't be with him, but I really, and he just went, like, right on with his life, too, but I didn't really know how to live my life not with him, and we had all these friends in common, so I just, like, started drinking myself into a hole, and I was eating pills every day, and just smoking weed nonstop. I was a mess. And acting like I didn't care at the same time while asking my friends 5 million questions. And it was really sad. I was really sick, you know. I've had moments in all of my relationships that I've been in where the person that I was with did not lift me up. You know, I think, I mean, the partners that we have in relationships are people too. It's not like their job is to lift us up 24 hours a day. I've had moments where Alex, my ex before that, have said things to me that crushed my soul in that moment, you know? I think the difference is that countered with the comments that they've made to me that have lifted me up, that they have been my cheerleader, that they have made me feel just like I was the most invincible person in the world, that they really believed in me. It was like I could excuse that comment away because in that moment, maybe it was in a harsh fight. We've all said harsh things to people in fights. I've said them to all of those people I just listed as well, right? But when it's coming from somebody that it's consistent, and they look at you almost kind of with just like disgust, like, oh my God, like, but they're dating you, and then it's almost kind of like they're doing you a favor to date you, and they look at you with such disgust, when it's a person that really doesn't have anything going for themselves anyway, and then you look back on that and you think, it is so hot, you guys. I gotta turn the seat down. Hold on. Like, I really sold my soul for a little bit of attention from somebody that was kind of popular in a bar. You know, like, what? Like, I remember when I introduced my mom to him, she didn't like him from the very get-go. And I never introduced him to my dad. Which is weird to me that we dated that long and he never met my dad. But like I said, he was only down here on the weekends. I do want to hear something funny. The one and only time that I ever went to Red Lobster was with him. His sister had a baby. And this is like one positive moment I do remember with him. His sister had a baby. And so she was working for the day, and his niece was like 6 months old. So his mom came down, or maybe we met her, and at Red Lobster, and I think we met her where she was from, and we had lunch. And then I remember we, like, went and, like, walked around the mall, just, like, he and I and his niece for, like, an hour or two. And I remember he kept on saying, wouldn't it be so cute if this was our baby? Wouldn't it be so cute if this was our baby? And everybody thought this was our baby. Which was, like, imagine me in that fragile state, okay, wanting any kind of positive attention from this guy, and he's saying to me, what if this was our baby? I was like, oh my God. And that's what he would do. He would kind of like mind F me a little bit, you know, like I really never knew what was going on with us. He did say something to me one time that was really interesting. He got like really mad at me. We got into some argument. I don't remember what it was about. Obviously, it's been so many years, but he got really mad at me. And I remember he looked at me and he was like, you know, you're too good of a person. He like got mad at me and was like, you're too good of a person. And I was like, what? And he was like, you expect too much from people. You're too good of a person. He was also the one that told me, this is interesting that I'm talking about the pretty woman thing, because he looked at me and he said, you think that people are going to walk off into the sunset and get their fairy tale. He goes, that doesn't happen in real life. Well, look, I got my fairy tale. And he's coming home tomorrow night, so. My husband and his girlfriend, can I just tell you, they stayed out to the club last night until 7 o'clock in the morning in Miami, okay? I am trying to like read my book and stuff, and he would FaceTime me and I had to pull over because I was listening to this audiobook, you know. Here's where I pulled through last night. There was these police officers. Now there's nobody here. I wonder what it was. Anyway, they went to Club Space last night, which does look like a really cool club from the videos and the pictures and stuff. But apparently at like sunrise or something, the top opens or something opens in the top, or it's somehow exposed so that sunlight is coming in and the whole place is lit up, which I don't think I would like that at all. I'm just saying, okay? Like back in the day when the lights went on in the bar, everybody scattered. So anyway, but he was excited about it, and then they went home and he was like, I'm taking a shower, and she's taking a shower, and then we're going to bed because we're so like, we sweated, danced all night long. He had so much fun. So and it was her birthday night, and she had a blast and stuff. So, but I was like, oh my Lord, I can't believe you stayed up. And he goes, and when we left, he said there were people waiting to get into the bar. He goes, and the next DJ was going on at like 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. I think it was 11 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, what? I am way too old for that stuff. And he was even like, Alex was even like, yeah, he was like, I can't believe I stayed up as long as I did, and I'm going to waste all of tomorrow when we could have been at the beach. But they actually got up today and they went to the beach. I was kind of surprised. I mean, they weren't there at 10 a.m. They were there by like 2, but they were still at the beach for a little bit. P.S. The next couple days are supposed to be really, really nice. It's supposed to be like in the mid-80s and sunny. Not like completely sunny, but Tuesday is supposed to be really sunny. So I think I'm going to go to the pool on Tuesday, definitely. I'm going to have to make my videos first, though, because I'm going to come home and then I'm going to have to turn around, get ready, and go to the meeting on Tuesday night. So, yeah, I'm going to have to make videos early. Well, what time will I have to? Yeah, I will. So, before I leave. What was I going to say? I'll make a review video on the way there. I'll do a Peterisms and a drama video before I leave that morning. And if I get there by 12 or 1, that would be good. And then when I come home, I'll just like, I'll upload them while I'm gone. And then they'll be ready to post when I come home. And then I can just take a shower and get ready and go to my meeting. And it'll be like a great Tuesday. That's my plan on Tuesday. Okay. What was I going to say? I don't know. And if I have to like just film my one drama video and when I get home I can do that too. Because sometimes stuff doesn't pop off till later in the day. There hasn't been a lot of drama going on lately. So I guess that means everybody's behaving themselves, which we should be happy about, right? I have to have my heat on for the windshield, but then it's like so hot in here. So anyway, then Alex, and last night they went to Water, that restaurant at the One Hotel. Tonight, their third friend was supposed to fly in, but she missed her flight or something, so she's coming tomorrow night. About the same time, she flies in at like 6, and Alex flies out. I don't know, he flies out 6 or something like that too. I have to pick him up at the airport tomorrow night. So anyway, tonight they went to, I think, some Japanese restaurant that's called Komodo. He'd been there before. He said it was really great. And then they were going to some club called Do Not Sit on the Furniture, which I thought was such a strange name for a club, but I think it's kind of cool, I guess, at the same time. So anyway, he's been sending me videos all night. He's having so much fun. He's like, this place is so cool. This place is so awesome. So he's having a lot of fun. I'm very excited for him. He's going to be exhausted when he comes home because he has to work on Monday, and he hasn't gotten like a lot of sleep on this trip. So he's going to be exhausted on Monday. Poor guy. He's had a good trip though. So that's the Alex situation. Pretty Woman. What else was I talking about? Oh, then after Pretty Woman, I watched Slumber Party Massacre, which I don't think I've ever seen Slumber Party Massacre before. I mean, maybe like it's been on in the background or something, but I don't think I've ever like sat down and watched it all the way through. So when I turned it on, it was, well, I was gonna watch Color Purple, which is probably one of the finest movies ever to be made in the entire world. It's one of my all-time favorite movies, and it was the very end. And that part always makes me really, really sad. It's the part where Miss Celie and Suge are walking through the field, and Suge says that she thinks that God gets pissed when you walk past the color purple and you don't notice it. And, I mean, it's the whole purpose of the whole book, right? But it's such a beautiful part, but I just, like, always bawl like a baby. And I didn't know what was going on with me. I was like, why am I crying to Pretty Woman? I was crying hard to Pretty Woman. I was like, the dogs were sitting there looking at me. They're like a foot in front of me. They're just, like, staring at me. And I'm like, the part where he's walking up the, what do you call it? The fire escape, and he's scared, and he's like, and what does the princess do after he rescues her? And she goes, she rescues him right back. I always hated that line in the movie. I don't know why, but it's the very last line in the movie. But anyway, it's like the one line I don't like. So then I started watching Slumber Party Massacre, which actually did not look too bad. I mean, the visual effects and stuff were pretty bad, but the movie itself did not look too bad. And I was kind of like getting into it. And then I was like taking the dogs outside, and there's like this family down the street, and they've always got a lot of stuff going on. I don't know, there's just always a lot of people there and stuff. And something was going on. I couldn't figure out what it was. They were like revving this truck and stuff, and so I was kind of like standing out there. And then all of a sudden, I think they were like trying to like, they were fixing something on the truck, and they were like, but anyway, they came like revving down the street, and I was like trying to get the dogs back inside because they were kind of like, just like hanging out like right by the yard there. It was late. This was like at midnight. You hear those bats? Oh, it stopped. So anyway, and then I brought them inside and I turned off Slumber Party Massacre. Well, I cleaned up like from like eating and stuff. And then I turned off Slumber Party Massacre. And actually, it was on, and then it was going to be followed by Slumber Party Massacre 2. So I turned all that off, and then I went upstairs to lay down and with the babies and take a little nap. I ended up laying down at like 12:30. I set my alarm for 2 o'clock, and I ended up sleeping until 3 something. And I'm awake now. This is part of the problem. If it was nice tomorrow, like I said, I wanted to go to the pool, so I don't want to sleep all day tomorrow, but now I'm wide awake. And then I also tweeted out, because I was thinking about this with Slumber Party Massacre, I was like, and I was thinking of Sleepaway Camp. Is that the one it's called? There's like, all of these, like, I haven't really seen all of like the Friday the 13th movies. I've seen like the first couple, but I don't even really remember seeing them. I've seen a lot of the remakes of stuff. And I was like, I wanted to make a list of like all of like the horror movies that you should see, like if you've watched like the canon of horror movies, if that makes sense. Like I haven't seen the Chucky movies. I've seen the Nightmare on Elm Streets, but like up off and on. Like I really like well done horror movies, and so when I was growing up, we watched the Halloween movies, that whole franchise, Phantasm, and then we would watch like really stupid ones, you know, like low budget horror movies. My friends and I would watch them. So I didn't watch a lot of these, like, you know, the Chucky ones and all of that kind of stuff, because those weren't the ones that we were watching. And, so I was like asking people, because I wanted to compile a list. It was interesting that a lot of people were making recommendations that were like all like very new. There was actually a movie that somebody suggested called The Lodge, and I watched the trailer, and I'm trying to be more active on all my social media, like Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. So go follow if you'd like, because I'm trying to be more active on my Instagram stories and on Twitter and stuff. But I tweeted out about Pretty Woman, and somebody said, Peter, you're so wholesome with the things that you comment on Twitter. I'm like, I don't know what to say about that, but thank you. Is that a compliment, I guess? I don't know. Anyway. I mean, it's just who I am. The things, like, I comment about crying to Pretty Woman. It's who I am. But anyway, so I watched this trailer for this movie called The Lodge. It looks very good. And then somebody recommended The Autopsy of Jane Doe, which is on Netflix. That looks really good too. I watched a trailer for that. I think I need to go through and like just like type up a spreadsheet or something and make a list of all these different movies and things I want to see and TV shows. I've got one more episode of, well, probably a half of an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Canada, the finale. Season 1. Is there a season 2? I don't know. Season 1. I haven't finished it yet. I think I know who wins. Because I think I saw it, like, before I ever started watching the show. I think I saw somebody tweet something out about it or something. But anyway, I have that. And then I'm, like, on the third. I just finished the third episode of Legendary, and I think there's 10 episodes. And then I have the other shows to watch. Okay, I keep on saying that there's only 2 seasons of Manifest, and I want to correct this because somebody said to me, and I feel like it's the same person that keeps on saying it, so thank you, because, okay, so where did she say it? She said, I watched your vlog. I think she tweeted it to me. Tweeted it to me or sent me a DM on Instagram. I don't know, but thank you. I appreciate it. She said, Peter, there's actually a 3rd season of Manifest, and it's on Hulu. So here's the deal, okay? Manifest has 2 seasons, which are on Netflix. The 3rd season is not over there yet. It may end up being over there, but it is currently on Hulu, okay? After the 3rd season, the show has been canceled. This is a fact, okay? I do know this because tonight I, like, checked it all in, okay? Or was it yesterday when I got, okay. It has been canceled. Netflix has chosen not to pick it up, which means they have chosen to not, like, with the show The Killing, that AMC, after, I think it was 3 seasons canceled, Netflix picked it up and they finished the series, okay? But with this one, even though it's sitting at number 2, Netflix has chosen not to pick it up. So it will have 3 seasons complete, right? The 2 that are on Netflix and the 1 that's on Hulu. Thank you for that, I appreciate it. But then the director is trying to option out a 2-hour film to kind of, like, wrap everything up. Because apparently there's, like, a lot of, like, loose ends at the end of the show. So I think I'm going to keep on watching it. Just like, I mean, I said to Alex the other day something about it, and he goes, well, 3 seasons is still good to get, you know. The thing for me is if I invest 3 seasons in it and then the show just ends, like, I can't tell you how many shows, but anyway, I want to clarify that and say thank you to whoever let me know that. Because I was getting comments on it, but people were just like, no, it's not canceled. No, there's more seasons of it. But, so, like, seeing that it was on Hulu made a lot of sense to me. Okay. Because I did not know that. But I have watched so many shows that just end and you don't find, like, The Dome, Red Band Society, that one about the witches, the sisters that lived in the small town in the East Coast. Alex and I watched that. And then there's a lot of shows that I started watching and I got like 3 or 4 seasons into and I never finished. Like, How to Get Away with Murder. I like watched that for like 4 or 5 seasons. I don't know, like I watched that for a long time and I never finished it. And the one with the attorneys, is that called How to Get Away with Murder? That one. And what's the show? I can't even remember the name of it now. That was done by the same person. Oh, he had a cute dog in the back of his car, the golden retriever. That was done by the same person with Kerry Washington. What was that show? I watched that show too. Revenge, I watched that show and I didn't finish it. Jane the Virgin, I watched that up to like the last year and then I didn't finish it. I get to a point where it's like hard for me to keep up with shows, and honestly, like this, like I love Big Brother, but I have not kept up with Big Brother this season. I haven't even started watching it yet. And so I'm like, I guess I'm not going to watch Big Brother this season. I mean, there's no way for me to catch up with it now, you know? I mean, I would have to sit down and watch 6 hours of Big Brother, and honestly, I don't care that much. I'm not really into watching TV this summer. I don't know what it is. I've been listening to so many audiobooks and stuff that, like, if I do watch a TV show, it's kind of like while I'm, like, eating or something. And there's all these movies that I want to see that I haven't watched. I want to watch A Quiet Place 2. I want to watch... What was the movie that Alex and I were talking about? He goes, you're going to watch it without me? Oh, the new Conjuring movie. So, I have, like, a couple movies on Netflix that I want to watch. There's all kinds of movies. But... Diet Coke tastes so good. This book that I'm listening to is really, really good. It's called... Did I tell you about my dream I had tonight, first of all? Well, I'm reading this book called The Dark, and it's by Jeremy Robinson. I talked a little bit about it last night, but it's basically this prophecy that for 3 days there's nothing but dark, and the gates of hell open on Earth. It sounds cheesy, but it really is good. I mean, it's really, really good. Anyway, when I was going to bed tonight, I was looking at something. I don't know what it was. I think I was looking at a trailer for one of those movies that I was just telling you about, those scary movies, those horror movies, and The Lodge or The Autopsy of Jane Doe, and something pulled up. I think it might have been at the beginning. It was like an ad at the beginning or something. Pulled up the new Shakira video, which is called Don't Wait Up. And so I watched it, and I really liked the song. I mean, it's not the best Shakira song in the world, but I love Shakira. So anyway, I downloaded the song. So, tonight, this is my dream, okay? I was like, I don't even know who I was with, but there was probably 20 of us in this, like, waiting room. And there were these long, like, leather couches. But it was very personal. Like, it wasn't like a doctor's office or something like that. Like, we were waiting to, like, all go in somewhere together. It was kind of weird, like, ethereal. Like, there really weren't any walls, but there were walls, if that makes sense. It was almost kind of like we were waiting to go to heaven or something like that. That's not what it was, but that's what it felt weird like that. And so I was like talking to these people, and somebody had dogs because they kept on having to like go like follow their dog and go get their dog and stuff, and the dog would come back into the room and it would be like barking and being silly and stuff. And I was talking to all these different people. Well, anyway, we were at one point, they had us like line up, and we were like lined up in like 4 rows. I started telling this story about a friend of mine that really liked Shakira. Anyway, my husband really liked Shakira too. That's kind of how I got there, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, so I'm standing up in this room, and I'm talking to this woman next to me, and I'm like, and the Shakira song comes on, right? And I'm like, oh, I go, I know the dance to this. And she goes, what? And I'm kind of like bragging, even though like I don't really know the dance, but like in my head, I'm like, I know this dance. Like I could show her the dance. Like I'm like, you know? And she's like, you know the dance? The song just came out. I was like, yeah, but I know the dance. Like I practiced it. And I think it's because there's this like one move in the video that she's like on a jet ski and she does this like one move, and I was like, what is she doing? Like, this is corny. It was kind of like that Hawaiian like hang ten kind of thing, you know? So anyway, I start doing this dance, and they're all like, oh my God, he's doing the Shakira dance. And I'm like totally making this thing up as I go along, right? And I'm like in my head thinking hips don't lie when I'm doing this song called Don't Wait Up. And all these people are like, oh my God, he's doing the Shakira dance. He knows the Shakira dance. And they're like, teach it to us. And then I woke up. That was my dream tonight. Everybody wanted to know the Shakira dance. Dreams are such a funny thing, aren't they? Oh, the air. I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and her kids go back to school on the 4th of August. And I'm like, so I was telling Tanya, I said, can you believe that schools go back the 4th of August? And she goes, and we get the whole month of August at the pool, just the 2 of us. Tanya's like spent her whole summer with kids because she had her grandbabies visiting the whole summer. She had so much fun with them. I'm so glad that she got to see them. Typically she sees them when she goes to visit them. You know, for a little bit, like a long weekend or whatever. They'll all get together for like a family reunion like once a year, every other year or whatever. But to spend like one-on-one time with them, and 2 came, you know, and for a week, well, 2 weeks, and then 10 days, and then 2 came for another 10 days. And so she really got to spend some good time with them. And, you know, I was saying to her, I was like, I'm so glad you got to spend time with your grandkids this summer. And she was like, it was like, honestly, she was like, Peter, it was the best part of Eric and I's summer that we got to spend time with our grandkids, you know? And, she'd work all day long, and then she'd go home and take them out, take a shower, take them out to dinner, get them ice cream, walk around, you know, take them shopping at Target, all kinds of stuff. They had so much fun. Went to movies. Now one night, the second group, she did take them to, I think they went and saw Cruella. Oh, I talked about it on here because they got real sick eating all kinds of candy and sweets and stuff. Anything else? I will tell you something weird that happened the other day. I keep on remembering, or I keep on forgetting to mention this on here. It's not important at all, but as soon as it happened the other day, I was like, oh, I talk about the boat a lot on my vlog, so I should remember to talk about this. Was that when it was raining the other day, and I walked out and like my shoes got wet and stuff, there was like a smell in the air. Where was I? There was like a smell in the air that reminded me of when we would go to the boat on the weekends that it would rain. And I don't know if I talked about this on here or not, but I was like remembering this that day too. Because it took me back to this time when like we would be stuck in the boat for an entire weekend, like, and you couldn't go anywhere, right? And the boat smelled like, you know, musty and stale. Because it was a sailboat, and it was closed up all winter long, so it would smell all musty and stale. And it would like, I can remember this one time we were there, and it was like torrential downpours, and we really couldn't go anywhere. And it was like we had gotten there like on a Thursday. It was like a Thursday evening, and I remember that next day it was like still pouring rain, and my dad was like, forget this, we're going to Chicago. And I remember we like threw that boat together and closed it up, and we drove to Chicago and stayed up there for the weekend. And then any other time that we would go to the boat and it would rain, I can remember thinking, God, I hope that it rains so hard that we have to go to Chicago for the weekend. Isn't that so funny? Crumble cookies, there it is right there. Their new flavors come out tomorrow. Melissa said their new flavors come out on Sundays. So that was the story I wanted to tell you about the rain. I can't stand the rain. Alright, so y'all know Joelle from Joelle Tale. She did this video, you guys, that rocked my world, okay? It was with her BFF. I think his name is Joey. It doesn't really matter because he referred to me as Paul. So, but I think his name is Joey. Her boyfriend's name is Andre. And Andre is basically a super fan of Peter Monn. I'm joking. But he did know all of the answers. So she did this thing. Well, it's actually her friend, her BFF's idea that they do a video where she quizzes him about Peter Monn trivia or facts. It was such a cute video, you guys, and it was so nice. I mean, that anybody would do something like that. And she was like, now, they're going to make jokes about, or he's going to make a joke about me being a stalker, but I'm really not a stalker. She's so worried about me. Girl, I don't think that about you. Don't worry, okay? I think it's extremely flattering that anybody wants to make a video about me, you know, and say nice things. I think that it's very flattering, and I really appreciate it. Now, she does know quite a bit about my life. That being said, no, I'm joking. It was funny because like the one that he actually knew and got right was what was my very first drama video. And he knew that it was like Kat Von D, or Jeffree Star and Kat Von D drama. And I was like, how do you know that, but you don't know anything else? Oh, and the other one that he knew was my husband's name. He knew that with some quickness. I was like, oh, I see you. I see you. Knowing my husband's name real quick. But anyway, he called me Paul, and then he knew my husband's name like that quick. I was like, oh, all right, all right. But anyway, it was such a cute video, and she's such a natural vlogger. Like, she did this video of them, like, at the pool. It was like a minute long, but she's just such a natural vlogger, and she's so comfortable just like filming herself in front of the camera. It reminded me of this one where she was cooking and in the kitchen and stuff like that I watched a while ago. Anyway, I love you. Thank you so much for the video. It really made my day today. I appreciate it. I texted Alex that I was bored and lonely, and he said, I'm sorry, babe. He said, I miss you though. And I said, I miss you too. I mean, I really wasn't that lonely. It was really no different from any other day for me. It just, but I was bored. I was kind of bored today a little bit. I was like, I wish there was like 15 videos that I could make. But I didn't get started making videos till late, you know. So anyway, so I watched that video, and, well, after I went to Meijer, I sat in the parking lot and I watched it, and it made me so happy. I was like, oh my gosh, this video makes me so happy. So that was that, and what else? There were actually kind of a lot of funny moments in the videos, because she was asking him, like, what my intro was, and he kept on saying this thing like, woof, woof, or something like, I don't know what he was doing, but it was kind of funny. And then she was asking him what my dog's names were, and she gave him a hint that it's like a literary figure, and he said, like, Jacob and Edward from the Twilight books. I was like, girl, seriously? Okay. What's your dog's name, Cinderfella? Anyway. I'm just joking. You're very nice, I'm sure. Anyway, he said they hadn't seen each other. I looked on the pool one. They hadn't seen each other since October, a year ago. So they got to hang out and visit, and I thought that that was cool because he was in San Diego. I actually just told my brother-in-law, I said, Fufu, I said, when we come to visit San Diego next, I said, I have this girl that I know that she watches some of my videos, and she's a complete stalker. No, I didn't say that. I'm totally joking. But anyway, I said, like, we've, you know, kind of gotten to know each other or whatever. And I said, and when I come out there, I said, she's vegan. She wants to take me to, like a tour of, like, vegan restaurants. And I thought I could film it and whatever. And because she said that she would do that for me, which I thought, oh, you know what? She emailed me this long email, and I never emailed her back. I will email you back. I am so sorry. But anyway, she said that she would take me on, like, a tour of, like, vegan restaurants. And Fufu was like, oh my god, my favorite vegan restaurant is, and he went into this whole thing, and I was like, okay, so I'll have to remember that restaurant. I don't remember what he called it, but it was like a vegan breakfast place. Which the last time that we were there, well, the only time that I've been there, we went to Breakfast Revolution, such a cute restaurant, and they had a soy chorizo, and the thing is, like, I know there's a lot of vegans and vegetarians out there that, like, just, like, eat lettuce and they don't really care. But, like, for me, I want the options everybody else has, right? Like, I want to be able to have an omelet and then say, do you want sausage in that? No, but I'll have that soy chorizo, thank you very much. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to go to a restaurant and they say, do you want a hamburger? And I'll say, no, I'll have an Impossible Burger, though, if I'm in the mood for a hamburger. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to go to a restaurant and the only option be, how about a dinner salad? No, thank you. I'm not really in the mood for a dinner salad tonight. I'm sorry that my friends picked a steakhouse to go to dinner at. You know what I mean? Which I'm always like, sure, let's go to a steakhouse. I can't wait to have a baked potato. You know, but the last place that we went, the last steakhouse that we went for Melissa's birthday, actually they had a vegetarian meal on the menu, and that was really cool if they had that. So it was like, I got it. So it was like pasta and whatever else, and vegetables and stuff, and it was really good. But so I love that other cities are doing that, because what I know is, and I know that in Indianapolis, there's probably 5 or 6 restaurants that have a few things, but there just aren't a lot that have a lot of choices, unless I drive a half an hour downtown, or to Fletcher Place, or to Fountain Square, or whatever, to one specific restaurant, and then I might have a couple options there. I know there's just not a lot, you know, like up here where I live, there's just not a lot. So I have to, like, be willing to drive if I'm going to do that. But here's the thing. So when I was a vegetarian before, when I met Alex, it was, like, impossible, okay? To go to, like, a restaurant and get a vegetarian option was next to impossible. I mean, it literally was. All you were going to get was a side salad, period, okay? And so, or fries or something like that. And so that has changed greatly in the 13 years that Alex and I have been together. So if San Diego is that way, because I know that I went to go visit my friend in Denver the summer before Alex and I met, and Denver had all kinds of options, right? San Diego's probably had all kinds of options for years. So I know eventually Indiana will become that way. I know that we'll eventually move in this way. Interestingly enough, Miami is not like real with the times when it comes to like vegetarianism and veganism. I think probably because, well, I don't know. They just have a lot of meat-centered restaurants down there. Like it's like a lot of like red meat on their menus. There's just not a lot of vegetarian options. And when you actually look at like the servers and ask them like, what are your vegetarian options? They're very honest. They're kind of like, there's just not really a lot. You know, we just don't have a lot of different things on our menu and whatever. And I'm like, okay, great. But I mean, it's not their fault. There's something you can do about it, right? I don't know. Now I'm getting hungry. Now I'm getting hungry, so I'm going to have to listen to a little bit of my audiobook, and then I'm going to have to go home and I'm going to have to eat because I'm hungry, see? So anyway, and then I can also render my video tonight, and I can have it uploading when I go to bed, so that when I get up in the morning, my vlog is ready to go, and then I can just schedule it. That was a good snap. Anyway, keep on snapping. I'm gonna get off here now, and I'm gonna listen to a little bit of my audiobook, and then I'm gonna go home and eat something, and then I'm gonna go to bed, and I'm gonna render my video and upload it while I'm doing that. So anyway, you guys are like, thank you for the 411. Well, you're welcome, and now you have it. So anyway, I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing, well, if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing, I need to look in the camera when I say this. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. I do. Okay? In case you need to hear that. Second of all, whatever you're going through in your life right now, this too shall pass. You're going to be okay. Trust. Trust me. Trust the universe. Trust your higher power if you have one. If not, trust the universe. Things are going to get better. The sun will rise again. And, you gotta believe it. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and believe that things are gonna get better eventually. And if not, then at least your perspective can change, right? You can change your perspective on how you look at things. So, but I hope that things get better for you. I really do. If you're going through something tough, and if you're not, and you're having a fantastic day, great. Pass it on. Pass on your good mood and your great times. And I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Sunday. I hope that you're getting renewed, rejuvenated, and refreshed for the week ahead. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!